The Marathon Server Slam was this weekend. I didn't make a video on this game for a while because honestly, my opinion on it hasn't changed since the reveal. I love the art style and how it looks, but it's an extraction shooter, so I was pretty much just on the fence. And the only thing that would change my mind is playing it, and I did for about 15 hours, so timestamps down below. Honestly, my first impressions for this were not great. Okay, actually, no, that's a lie. The graphic designer in me was having a blast. I was loving it. Like, I was just walking around taking screenshots and turning off the HUD. I was in awe. This game is good fucking design. The gameplay side, however, it was just kind of meh, like it's all right. It just wasn't clicking, and after 3 hours, I called it quits. It was what I expected. It's an extraction shooter. Get in, get loot, get out. It was very slow, not much PvP engagement. People were just extracting the moment you got a chance to leave, and eventually I got bored. But I decided to take a break and then go at it again because from reviewing a lot of games, some games get good after a while and others only get good when you really learn them, and that is the case for Marathon. Marathon gets more fun the more you play. Hour 1 to 3 was rough, but hour 4 to 7, total 180. And that is kind of a bit of a problem. See, a lot of issues you will have in Marathon as you start playing eventually go away the more you play. There are a lot of progression systems here working in tandem, and until you start making your way up the levels and buying upgrades, it's pretty rough until it gets fun. The lack of bag space, the lack of PvP engagements, the annoying heat and stamina bar is very limiting as a beginner, so the early game just isn't fun. The dev team already made some changes to put more players in those earlier beginner matches, so they're addressing some problems already, but yeah, they need to make some more changes because asking gamers to be patient for 2-3 hours before they start having fun is a very tall ask. So for anybody who, dropped the game in the first few hours because you didn't like it or you didn't find people, this is most likely the problem that you were having. But again, the game gets more fun as you keep going. There's upgrades to address vault space, your fall damage resistance, the looting speed and stamina bar, and even getting more credits for selling items. And you can buy certain guns that you like instead of having to find them by just leveling up certain factions. I was really surprised by the amount of different progression systems in this game, and I can see the potential for people with different play styles and long-term progression goals. I got 15 hours and I barely feel like I scratched the surface to understanding all of the possible builds and loadouts that you can do. The gameplay is not gonna be very good in this video. Honestly, I'm level 12. I just started upgrading my stamina bar, but seeing clips from people at level 30 to 50, they're just zipping around everywhere. You got a lot more mobility when the heat upgrades are maxed out. Endgame looked like Apex Legends esports matches. They were playing a very different, much more faster paced game than what I was playing, and I guess that's something to look forward to. They also said there's a lack of PvP fights in those early hours because a lot of people are dying to the AI bots. And I guess the devs could see that because, they got analytics behind the scenes. And honestly, I get it. The AI in this game is not a joke. I treated them that way and they ended 3 of my runs. They are a serious threat. They move like players. Some will run up on you and punch you in the face. There's a big purple guy with a riot shield, and then there's the ghost. They go invisible, move behind cover, they flank you. They will actually mimic player footsteps and voices. They'll open doors. They will do a lot to bait you to getting closer, and then they'll fuck you up. So yeah, there's much of a threat as other players. And the gunplay is good too, but it's a Bungie game, so no surprise there. I love Destiny's gunplay. It is rough for Destiny fans right now. Not to put salt in the wound, but as I was playing this, I was just man, Destiny PvP players would love this. The gunplay is good, the time to kill is fast, and it feels good. The runner shells and abilities actually feel somewhat balanced, except the assassin, fuck people who play that shell. I hate invisible abilities in PvP games, but yeah, just imagine if this was round-based and their objectives, Destiny 3 PvP would feel great if this was it, but here we are. Also, let me talk about the solo experience, because I played with friends and also solo for a couple hours. The solo experience is fine. You can definitely still enjoy this if you're playing by yourself up to a certain point. If you try to do events or anything like that, again, you're facing the AI and it becomes a real problem because they kill you really fast. The first wave is normally fine, but once they call for reinforcements, and then there's snipers and riot shields, grenade spams, and then the ghost bots drop in, it gets out of hand really quickly. So I don't know if they want to adjust the bot damage for solos, or maybe spawn less bots when they call for reinforcements. But yeah, playing with a team is where the game shines, because you have multiple people with different abilities going against each other, and I like that. And unfortunately in solo play, you'll just mostly find a lot of people playing the assassin. But yeah, once I started unlocking factions and contracts with the objectives, I started to have fun. The contracts and factions appeal to me because, again, the typical extraction shooter gameplay loop just doesn't hold my attention very long, but now I have goals to chase in the match. Along with looting, it definitely helped with keeping me engaged, because not every run is exciting in extraction shooters, which is one of the reasons I generally don't care for them. But yeah, now you have extra stuff to do, because now I get lore and like more narrative about this game when I complete contracts, and that's where you'll get me. I love a bit of lore and story. And the different factions appeal to different types of playstyles. If you're more passive, you can pick the faction where your objectives are just like collecting plants and scanning data terminals. And if you're like me and into PvP, then you can pick the Psycho Death Squad faction, and my objectives were to just like hunt other players and then loot their bodies. And speaking of hunting other players, this is an extremely PvP focused game. Yes, there are a lot of PvE puzzles and objectives for you to do and stuff to collect. However, yeah, it's time to mention Arc Raiders. If you don't normally like extraction shooters, but you like Arc Raiders, I don't know if this is for you. There's no, don't shoot me, I'm friendly. They're not doing that over here. The community is very PvP focused, and the devs are trying to like set that precedent really early. The game promotes and rewards hunting other people, so if you don't like PvP engagements, then again, this isn't for you. This specific genre of game is like very cutthroat by nature, which is one of the reasons I think it's so niche. But normally, I'm pretty chill in most games except extraction shooters. I will shoot you in the back at extraction and take your shit. I'll say I'm friendly and shoot you in the face. Arachne and Mida would be proud. I'm representing my factions pretty well. And I like that everyone seemed to get that memo. Like every match I've been shot at, there's never been a time where I saw another player and like we didn't immediately try to kill each other. Also, I was wrong about one thing from my previous marathon video. This is most definitely not appealing to casuals. It's not for the casual audience. It's for people like me who are very competitive, but it's easier than the hardcore extraction shooters. Tarkov is like one-shot kills. In this, you have time to react if you're fast enough and you're like not caught out in the open. The other thing I've seen come up as an issue with everyone is the UI. I think the UI is mostly fine. Yeah, looking at this is very overwhelming when you first start. It definitely was for me. You don't know what to what, but over time, like, you learn what to take and what you need and what all of the icons and symbols mean. My hot take is I think a big set of complaints I've seen for the game have just been due to inexperience with extraction shooters and not the game itself. Also because this is a new game, it'll take time to learn how everything works. A lot of people didn't really take the time to, go through that learning phase, and they quit within like the first hour. And, Marathon has a lot of depth and a pretty steep learning curve from what I've seen and played. Now, I did say the UI is mostly fine. I do have some complaints. First of all, the map. I don't like that I can't zoom in. Also, I don't know where I am when I open the map. I'd like my icon to like pulse or something. I always open the map and it takes a few seconds to find where I am. Seeing pings and teammates is also kind of hard sometimes. Now, when it comes to the menus, I didn't really get lost because I read the tooltips. Like, the game shows you where to go and where to find stuff when you're first playing, so I don't get that complaint. However, I will admit I might be biased on this point because this is the way Destiny is set up. Bungie loves menus on menus on menus, so like I'm very used to like navigating a whole bunch of menus to find what I want. But hey, if people want this to be more simplistic, then I'm all for it. That's fine by me. I will say though, putting on mods and chips, that needs work. That definitely needs to be better. In the main menu, it's whatever, like I can hover over everything and take my time, but in a match, trying to put on mods on weapons quickly is a problem. Certain attachments only go with some guns, and it isn't very clear until you like try to do that. While I'm in a match, I'm not reading all that. Like, I don't want menus on menus. I'm trying to loot quickly and survive, so like maybe they need to put icons on these or something like they do with the perks for Destiny. This game is very funny because as a longtime Bungie player, like I can see some of the mistakes from Destiny are bleeding through in Marathon. So along with a bunch of menus, that was a huge Destiny problem. There's also the ammo economy. Bungie just hates giving you ammo. I'd like more ammo and heals, either more stacks or maybe more efficiency of the heals could definitely be better and improved. So yeah, I gave some pros and cons of stuff I liked and what I didn't like. Overall, I went from not really liking the game at first, and then after a few hours, I started unlocking stuff, and I kind of liked it. So that's where I'm at. I like it, but I don't love it. Like, you know, the same way I love Destiny or Division. Like some people, for them, Marathon is like a huge day one buy. They're pretty excited. They absolutely love it. That's not me. I think it's cool and I like a lot of the different features. However, it's still, you know, on an extraction shooter platform. Everything I like is pretty much attached to an extraction shooter. So, but yeah, overall, I don't love it. I can see myself maybe picking it up eventually. Yeah, I like what I played. Part of my hesitation to buy this it's because I watched Bungie drive Destiny into the ground, so I don't know if I want to sign up for that again with a different franchise, but I don't see this being a flop either. Like, people are definitely excited for this. I think it'll find its audience, but I guess the real thing to look forward to is the post-launch content and see how quickly they improve a lot of the feedback that everyone is giving them. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Marathon. If you played it, you can let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.